few days ago, I bought a 12 terabyte hard drive, and that means I had to back up all my files, all my photographs from all these different hard drives that I have, SSDs that I've had. And that gave me the opportunity to really dig deep dive into my photographs. And this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my very first old photographs that I created. Kind of cringing looking at them and kind of, um, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, but we are here to learn. And I just wanted to share these photographs and video with you guys because we all start from somewhere. And sometimes when you are just starting out and you're looking at people that you look up to, it looks like they just got there and you are just not doing anything, or you maybe you're not talented enough, or maybe this is not even working out and you should stop. But before you have all those thoughts and make that decision, I'm just gonna pause you right there. Finish watching this video because these are very embarrassing photographs. I don't even know what I was thinking when. Yeah, there are some compositions and some photos that I'm like, why did I even take this? But it's more about how I edited them. Like that is just cringing. Anyway, let's jump onto my computer and I'll share with you guys the photographs. There were about 270 something photographs, but I'm not gonna bore you with all of those 200 and something photographs. I just picked ones that I thought was even worse. 24 of them to share with you. So let's jump onto my computer and take a look at these photos. I'm just gonna go in here, and as you can see on my screen right here, these are some of the photographs, and then I've selected these ones. So let's close this, open this up, and this is the first photograph here. Let me do this. Okay, so we can have as much screen of the photograph as possible. So this is the first photograph here, and I remember taking this. I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible going through these. This was when I first moved to the United States. This was the first apartment that I lived in, and right behind the apartment building was this lake. And I just, like, every single time I sat in my studio, this was the view that I was seeing. So when I first got, which I'm actually gonna jump to this photograph right here. So this is me, and shout out to my friend Daniel. He had an embroidery company, and so he made me this mask. As you can see, it says K Boateng Photography on it. And at this point, to be honest, I was having fun. I was enjoying going out and making photographs. But again, we will see the results from all of that. So the first camera that I ever bought here in the United States was the Canon T3i. So I think, if not all, most of this photo was taken with this camera and this setup right here. So this is a selfie of me, me and my friend. I think I was with John, and he used to, well, I don't know if he still does, but he liked going into old abandoned buildings, and so we will go into all these places and take some photos and stuff like that. So yeah, this is me right here. This photo right here is one of the very first photographs that I took. And I mean, I do like the composition, but I like, why do I have my logo on here to the top left and it's kind of flipped upside down? Oh, and I think I know why it's flipped. It's flipped because when I first took the photo and kind of like edited it and posted it on Instagram, I had the photo kind of like flipped because of the reflection that I have on the lake. And so I thought it was cool that I've taken a photo and it's real life, and then I flipped it, and now it's like, oh, I am creative about it. So I don't know. But anyway, this let's go to the next photo. This one, oh man, I do kind of like the photo, like as far as the composition and all that, the perspective. But have you seen the colors? Like, what was I thinking? Like, where is all these purple and blue and warm? Like, this is nuts. And then also shout out to the logo, putting your stamp on every single photo right here. Um, but I don't have much to say about this photo other than the editing looks terrible. So the next one, and just so you guys know, if not all, most of these photographs will have my logo on it. Shout out to those times. But I have photographed this place recently. I mean, over and over again, and this is the first time I think I photographed it. Um, it's very hard to photograph this bridge because I love the architecture, I love the bridge, but anything behind it is kind of like it just kind of mashed in and it doesn't look, good to look at. So I won't beat myself about this photograph way too much, but then um, the composition is terrible, and the, again, the editing is terrible. The light is beautiful, but I don't know. It's just what was I thinking when I made this photograph? So let's jump to the next one. This one is, I don't even know if this is black and white or color. Like, I I I think I thought I had really created a very moody photograph. Like, what's happening up here? Like, what is going on? This is the very first one that I saw, and I was like, oh no, this is terrible. This is terrible. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I think the composition is cool. I mean, it's the skyline of Columbus. Why, I don't know why. Did I take this in like very like daylight and try to make it look like night or something? Because why is these lamps not on? All of these lamps, that would have made it a little bit cooler if they were on. But also, like, yeah, I don't know what was happening here. So enough of, let's move on. So, if you know Columbus, or if you've been to Columbus before, even if you've seen most of my photos, you've seen this place. But again, it's the skyline, and then they have this deer that is kind of like looking upon the skyline. And I think I'm not the only person that have tried to put the Leveque Tower, which is like one of the most famous buildings here in Columbus, in between the deer horn. But also, it's not just about the composition and the cliche photograph. The colors, like, what's up with all these purple that is going on? I mean, the Canon T3i is not a great, I mean, back then it was good, but it's compared to now, it's like, I mean, a lot of change. But I don't think this was coming out of the camera. I think this was just me being very bad at editing. And also back then I tried to kind of like get certain look that other photographers was getting, but when you do that, it's wrong in so many ways because the location that they are at is different from the location that you are. The lighting that they are getting is different from the lighting that you are getting. So subject, all of that. So that is why I mean, I've bought people's presets and stuff, especially when you're starting. But it's terrible, to put somebody else's preset on your own photograph because they are not the same lighting, the same, colors and all that. Anyway, let's jump on. I added this photograph because the more I looked at it, I was like, what? I'm trying to figure out why I took the photograph, and I couldn't come up with anything other than I just thought maybe it's a path, and I don't know. It's just like when look at all the colors in the trees. Like this image is it's just terrible. I should right now if I'm to say okay, let me salvage this image. I think I'll just like switch to black and white because there is nothing interesting in this photograph other than it's just snow and trees and that's it. So there is if there was like beautiful sunset or sunrise, that maybe will make something, but other than that it's just I don't know. So let's move on. Oh boy. I'm so sorry, guys, for this photograph. I mean, the composition is okay. It's all right. But I think I tried to give the scene a beautiful sunset with that one. I don't even remember if this was sunset or sunrise. I think it was sunset. But yeah, what's again, I don't know what at this point in my photography what I was so attracted to magenta and purple because I feel like it's becoming a theme in all of these photographs. So yeah, I think I took the photo, got home, and I was like, man, the sunset was more beautiful. Excuse me. I think I got home and I was like, man, the sunset was beautiful in person. So I was just trying to recreate what I thought I had captured, but made it worse. Way, way worse. This is terrible. Please don't make this mistake. I mean, if you are a new photographer starting, just try to keep the natural colors. You can push your photographs a little bit if you want to be creative, but don't do this. Okay, so at this point in my photography journey, I was learning more techniques and new ways to capture interesting photographs. In this photo, I also just realized something. I'll talk about it, but in this photo, I was just learning about reflection, and I think I had watched a YouTube video, maybe by Peter McKinnon or somebody, and they were showing how you can get different interesting perspective and like compositions using reflection. So this is just my phone. I have my phone in my hand with the camera on top of it, and then photographing my friend Sean that was photographing something. But that is not even the worst part of this photograph. The worst part of it is I tried to add bokeh in post. So if you can see around Sean right here, it's kind of blurry, and that is not natural. This is not my lens and camera doing this. This is me going into Photoshop and trying to add blurriness and shallow depth of field to this image. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know what, but that's terrible. Please don't do that. And again, going into the same theme of reflections, I just thought, hey, Sean, just like, stand right here. Let me put my phone down and get a reflection. Or I think it was in my hand or something. It's cool, but what would you even use this photograph for? Like, I don't know. So, and then more techniques. I learned about how to do levitation, and I think I remember I had my tripod, and this is you and your friends going on photo walk. And shout out to Sean because there were so many things that back then I did, and I was like, that was some patience they had for me to just set up my tripod, put on fishing wires, take their camera, hang it on it. And Sean is very protective of his cameras, and so I don't know how he agreed to do this. And shout out to Sean. But this photograph, I mean, it's like a technique that I was able to make, and go into Photoshop and clean up all the fishing lines, and you think you are the best Photoshop editor ever, but this is terrible. And I think I added another, blurriness in post again because this doesn't look natural at all. Okay, so I'm sure every single photographer has done this before where you try to, select a specific color in a photo and then switch everything else to, black and white. It became a trend at some point, and I think when it was a trend, I wasn't doing photography. I was, following my boss on sets doing, makeup and set design back in Ghana. But anyways, when I took this photograph, there was a lot of red team. I think we were at the Ohio State University, and red is, I think, their main color, whatever. So I kept the red and tried to put everything else in black and white. And as you can see back here in the building here with the bricks, because of the red in the bricks, it also kind of like left that in there. And yeah, it's terrible. I mean, the photograph kind of have a little bit of a story to it. There's a man going into a bus and, caught him halfway. Composition and everything is not that terrible, but the editing is. And same thing here, and I think it was the same location, at the university. Yeah, what is this? Composition is okay, subject matter is okay. I think I might still maybe these days, maybe I'll still take this photo, but just for the fun of it. But I don't know what you use this for. Like if there was like a subject or something like, on the left side of this photograph. But yeah, I don't know. So again, yellow cab, make everything else black and white except the yellow cab. At this point, I did a really good job, masking out just the taxi and everything else being black and white. I was very, very, very proud of this photograph. I think, did I even print this? I'm surprised I didn't because, yeah, shout out to selective color in Photoshop. So let's move on. More technique shots, you've learned about leading lines. So whenever you're out photographing, all that you're looking for is leading lines, telling your friends to stand at the end of the line so you can get a leading line photograph into the city. This is not bad. It's just a technique that I have learned and put it into practice. But also the color grading, I was like, it's a little bit rainy, moody. So let me, dive into that kind of like feel. And yeah, I don't know, this is not great. The same kind of vibe. I do actually like this photograph. I think I even printed this. But leading lines, a man walking at the end of it with split leg. This time it's not my friend that I asked to stand there, so I was very proud to wait for somebody to cross the road for me to get this photograph. I like that there is this car that has their light on here to the left, but not like that, the like beam light. I like that there is a car with the lights on at the end behind the subject, putting some light around them. But the editing, again, I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, this one, let me know in the comments what you think. Is this good or not? It's almost kind of like I was trying not to make it black and white, but also not too colorful. I don't know what I was thinking. So I've showed you this photograph, we still do this thing, taking a selfie photo in front of the camera, in front of a mirror. So my Canon T3i, shout out to this camera. And as you are, learning new tricks, new techniques, if you haven't done these light trails as a photographer, this I encourage you to go out and do. It's fun and it's so cool when you're able to like get the right photo and nail it. I don't think I had a tripod. If I did, it was a very cheap and bad tripod because there was shakiness in this photograph. And unfortunately, we don't have this view in the city anymore because that bridge has been torn down and now it's building an overpass over there. But it was cool that we were able to like go over that bridge and see the city in this view. I don't know what I was thinking about with the editing, but yeah, it was cool. Night photography, I was so terrified about night photography because I didn't know the settings to get the right photos, a good exposure. But also, I was comparing my photographs to other photographers that I've seen from New York and Japan and all that, because there's a lot of city lights around there. So night photographs wasn't as dark. Even if it was, they had more experience than I did. So in this photograph, even though I do like the composition, I do like the view, I do like everything that is happening in this photograph. It almost feels like a painting, but I wish I had known enough to expose the image correctly. And that is what I would say about this photograph. Now, this is one of those photos that I look at and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, what made me go down and take the photo of this moss? Like, I don't know. I really don't know why I took this photograph. I don't know what caught my attention, but there it is. It's a photograph, and we're talking about it. I don't know. I don't know what you use this for. Maybe if you print it really big and put it on the wall, it might look interesting, but I don't know. Same leading line and selective color. This time I didn't really do the selective color. Nature did it for me with the yellow line and the yellow car that was going down the road. I think when I saw this, I was like, yeah, let me really get this. It's amazing. But also I slapped a terrible editing on top of it. So it, and if you start photography for the first time, I feel like most times if you are trying to be a nature, landscape photographer, the first things you photograph are like flowers and stuff like that. And then when it rains and you're able to get a little bit of raindrops on it, it makes it cool. So this is what you do. And then if you're trying to be a photographer, like a portrait photographer, you start with your friends and family. I kind of did it all. And I still kind of do, but I do have a specific, most of my work is portrait, but I still go out and make other photographs you've seen on this channel. And I think this photograph is captured well. I think I kept natural colors, which is great, but composition is terrible. It's like I was so focused on the fact that there is this flower with this water drops, and I was able to shoot at 1.8, and so I was excited about it, but the composition is just not great. And then I kind of like even went in even and then I kind of even went in more closer. I think this time I was trying to do macro shot, but my lens couldn't do it, so just put it to 1.8 and go as close as possible to get the raindrop. And it's cool. I mean, if you're starting out and you take this photo, you'll be very proud of it. And I'm proud that I kept the natural colors and didn't go bananas on the colors here. So, and more experimentals, times. I think at this point I was trying to dig into my, experimental creativity, kind of like otherworldly kind of photograph. And so I had also learned about long exposure, and so like I was doing all these crazy photographs, and this bridge is the one I was talking about that has been torn down. But as you can see, the big tower behind me. I was very proud of this image when I remember I put it in Lightroom. I was like, yes, I got it. But again, terrible editing. I don't know if I think I still have all the raw files of these images. So I don't know if you guys would be interested to go back and re-edit all of these. But yeah, I might do that and see what I come up with now. So this is the last photograph, and I kept this last because this is the worst. Like, I mean, all of them are terrible with the purple, but can you see what's going on here with Columbus written in this photograph right here? Like, what was I thinking? I mean, um, maybe somebody will buy a print of it and put it on, you know, their wall. It's like super cool. Like you can see Columbus in it, but you can barely see it. Composition is terrible. Like, I mean, I do like that I didn't put the horizon right in the middle, but also I didn't give enough room at the bottom. So it's not that great. It's not that great. This is so bad. This is so bad. And again, the purple, pinky-ish, magenta look. Anyway, that's it for the video. I'm sure if I dig deep, there is more photographs that I'm more like embarrassed to show you guys. But this is the whole set right here. If you're a photographer and you're just starting out, you know, go out and make all these photos. Make the terrible photos because they are the photos that teaches you the skills, you know, teaches you all the mistakes that you would do. And then when you look back at it, you will know how much you've improved in photography. And so, yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Go out there and make photograph. No matter what it is, I'm sure, I promise you, you will get better the more you go out and photograph. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, bye-bye.